everyone, and welcome to another episode of 1923 Main Street.
Home of the Disney Travel Podcast with the latest Disney travel news. We are your hosts.
I am Mike Bella Braddock.
And I'm Amelia Bella Braddock. And today, some major changes to the Disney Parks regulations coming in 2024.
Yes, it's the sort of the news we've been waiting for. Things are finally moving in the right direction. And when I say the right direction, I mean the old direction. So we have...
The right direction. Backwards!
Yeah, backwards. Things are going backwards at Walt Disney World, and we are happy that they are. So let's talk about this, because it's not good news for everyone. This was sort of how I would say it. It's not bad news for some, but it's very good news for others. All right, let's start with that Disney announced 5 big things. The first one is...
The biggest thing, in my opinion, is they are removing park passes for date-based tickets specifically.
So explain what that means.
So first of all of these start January 9th of next year, 2024. And so...
Oh, let me just say before we begin. This is announced because as of May 31st, you can start booking your 2024 vacations. So at the end of this month, you can start booking for next year. And so they wanted you to know, here's all the stuff that's new next year. Or old again. Yeah, everything new is old again, isn't that? Or everything old is new again? I don't know. Whatever that expression is, it applies right now. Okay, date-based tickets is the key here.
Yes, so starting with park visits, like I said, January 9th, 2024, your theme park reservations no longer need to be required if you bought a ticket. Like if you bought a 1-day or an 8-day or however many days for, let's say, like April 12th to April 17th, like days that are specific, not if you have an annual pass.
Yeah, so basically, if you're like, and this is really good news for people who don't go as frequently as we do. If you just go once or once a year or once every 5 years, Park Pass was a pain because you don't do it a lot and you're not really sure how it works and you may not necessarily know what you want to do every single day and all that sort of stuff. So in advance. So now if you book a hotel and then you buy a 7-day pass, you can just go to the parks, any park you want, whenever you want, and not worry about it. So that's great. However, there are people like us who are not locals. So when we go to Walt Disney World, we're obviously out of state, in our case, out of country. When we go, we do book a week's vacation. We are still going to have to pick our parks a year in advance, which is a pain, right? So we are hoping that if you are an out-of-state Disney World traveler who has dates booked at an on-site hotel or Disney Vacation Club villa, you will not require park passes. That's our hope.
Well, it makes sense that if you book a hotel reservation, then you're planning to specifically stay there for a week. So I don't see why it would be different than if you bought like an 8-day pass.
So as it stands, really nothing. If you're an AP holder, nothing's changed for you. Whether you live in Florida or not, you're still going to have to book park passes. So not good news for us, but really good news for casual Disney travelers, I think.
And it is at the very least a step in the right direction.
After all, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, they did do, I don't know if point number 2 is supposed to compensate for that. I don't think it does. Now, if you're a local Disney annual pass holder in the Orlando or Florida, this one is good for you. If you're out of state like us, it is meaningless.
So the next thing Disney has announced are good to go days for annual pass holders and cast members. And on those days, they will not need a theme park reservation.
Yeah, so it's sort of weird because they're going to do select days. So they're going to say, I guess, hey, from April 7th to 9th, you won't need park pass reservations. Well,
thanks, Disney.
Yeah. For us, who's booking 3 weeks a year in hotels, this, unless it happens to fall on our week, and it's not going to be for 7 days, I doubt. Yeah. Anyway.
In which case we would likely have already booked our park pass reservations.
So this won't help us at all. But if you are a local annual pass holder, then this is going to be good for you because you can just sort of go on a whim on those days. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to know which days are low attendance, and those are going to be the no park pass required days for APs. So that's good for cast members and Disney local Orlando/Florida annual pass holders. Not good, again, The out-of-state annual pass holders really get nothing is the bottom line here in terms of park passes going away. So Disney, if you listen to our show, please consider those of us who do stay on site for 3 weeks a year in hotels and give us a break on Park Pass. All right. Number 3, I don't personally care about, but I know a lot of people do.
A lot of people will be very, very excited to find that the Disney dining plans are finally returning. And I believe this is in addition to their current voucher system. Disney Resort Hotel guests who purchase a vacation package starting with stays beginning January 9th will have the option to add on the Disney Quick Service Dining Plan or the regular and returning Disney Dining Plan.
Yeah, so the key here is you got to book a vacation package to do it, which is fair. Hey, this is what we're asking for the annual pass.
So Disney does know how to do it.
Now, again, missing in the details, as far as I've seen so far, more news may come out, is DVC members used to be allowed to buy dining plans when they had a booked hotel stay. We don't really, the dining plan doesn't work for us. We don't get value out of it. I know it is good for some people. So if you're a DVC member, we don't know yet. Right now, it doesn't look like it will be, but more details will come out, I'm sure, between now and they're going to have it sorted by May 31st, obviously.
Yes. These are just the initial headlines to get you excited and ready to book your next vacation.
So Disney Dining Plan is back, right? So again, if you're a casual Disney traveler, it's, I see how it's more convenient. Forget the economics, yes or no, depending on how much you eat and all that stuff. It is just a lot easier on the dining plan. We have done it. We used to years and years ago, not really anymore, but so that's a good thing. Now, number 4 is not really new. It's more like, hey, we're still going to do this.
Yeah, it still is good news. Is that?
Well, yeah, they could have taken it away.
Yeah, exactly. So early theme park entry for Disney Resort Hotel guests and extended evening hours for the deluxe resort guests and villas will continue all the way through 2024. And as usual, valid theme park admission and resort ID are required.
Yeah, so the old extra magic hours. And you listen, in our recent show, we talked about how good these still are. So especially the late ones for deluxe resort hotel guests.
And they're also free.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Better
Just
than
buy
the
yourself
paid
a
late
popcorn.
night. Yeah, so that's good. And then the last one, finally, something we can take advantage of.
Yes, you are now able to plan ahead with the Disney Genie Plus service. And so you no longer have to get up at 6 a.m. day of to book your resort before you go and book your rides.
Yeah, this one's interesting because there are no details. They don't. So we don't know if it's going to be 30 days or 60 days like FastPass was.
Very suspicious.
Or just a week before. Whatever it is.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't require you to get up.
Yeah,
at 6 a.m.
I agree. Anything that I can plan a little bit in advance.
Anything that's like more
good.
than 8 hours before will take, to be honest.
So they do say, what's their exact wording? That details will follow, and hopefully it's soon before the 31st. But this is a good thing. So all in all, these are 5 pretty significant things. And Bob Iger did say he was going to do some stuff that they went a little bit too far, taking things away and so on and so forth. I mean, Park Pass started with COVID, made sense for the first year or so, but it's outlived its usefulness again. So don't penalize us.
Yeah, I understand where they're coming from. I do think, to your point also, it's important that if you have a booked resort stay, it's kind of the same thing as having like a booked park day pass, because they can just assume that you'll be in the parks for most, if not all of those days.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping they're going to do. They're going to get this feedback. I've already seen it. We're recording this the day this was announced, and so you will be listening to this starting as of May 9th. Happy birthday, Amelia. May 9th. Not quite May the 4th, but May the 9th be with you. Anyway, so hopefully Disney will make that change for any annual pass holder who has a booked hotel stay or villa stay. Let's drop the park pass.
Yeah, I understand where they're coming from, but I think, again, to your point, this way Disney has a grip on how many people have hotel reservations, and so they'll be able to estimate better how many people are going into their parks. So I definitely think within a very short amount of time, they could hopefully be removing this.
So check our show notes for all the remaining news. We will touch on a couple of things here, but we like to keep the show to 15 minutes of Disney magic. So there are some things happening now in May 2023. You don't have to wait until 2024 for everything. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah, it was just released last week. Yes, and now it is coming to Disney parks.
Yeah, so there's a few things on both coasts. Not a ton of things, but California Adventure's taking part.
Yes, there are some limited time experiences, like Mantis will be joining Star-Lord at Avengers Campus for Guardians of the Galaxy Awesome Dance-Off.
Dance-Off. Those are always fun.
And of
Yeah,
Heroes.
so if you want to dance in public with the Guardians, here's your chance. No dancing at Epcot, but
However,
they are holding some limited time offerings there because the ride is there, so that makes sense.
Now this I'm excited for. Connections Cafe is offering perfect...
Oh, Sovereign Waffle Bites.
Yes, delicious, anyone. These will be topped with a red berry dipping sauce, and you could also try a Guardians of the Galaxy cookie at the Mission Space popcorn cart next to Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
Yeah, they're right beside each other, those two attractions. So not a ton of stuff, but, just a little bit of celebrations in the park for Guardians. And Adventures by Disney. This one's interesting. A couple of new trips.
Yes.
One of them that's very interesting to us. We have not done an Adventures by Disney. Some friends of ours who listen to the show have. They did an Africa trek and loved it. They are going to Colombia, so it's a real Encanto-themed experience that will take place and take you to many of the locations that were inspirational for Encanto. So that's in 2024. Also in 2024, one that's piqued our interest.
Yes,
Even though we live in Canada, we don't always see all of it.
Yes, they are touring the Canadian maritime colonies of Nova Scotia.
Colonies? Provinces. I think you've been listening to too much of the New King's...
Maritime provinces.
Oh, too much of King Charles and the colonies in the news.
Of Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. And this will be starting in 2024, and you can enjoy the Canada Atlantic coast with an 8-day, 7-night adventure.
Yeah, some of the things, people always say, well, it's so expensive. I could do this for cheaper. You can, but Adventures by Disney, they do things like you're going to meet with one of Lucy Maud Montgomery, the author of the Anne of Green Gables stories, one of her descendants. And they have things that you can't do on your own. It's sort of like a VIP tour at Disney World, right? The odds are you're not going to do that on your own vacation there. So,
yeah,
they're not for everyone, but if you want to do Adventures by Disney, is it worth it? Always a question. I think they are.
Yeah, and you get to do things that are like basically the little mini equivalent of visiting Skywalker Ranch on that very, very extravagant 7-country Adventures by Disney.
Yeah, so that's new. And one more thing I want to talk about, again, check our show notes for more news this week, but at Disney Aulani, I think this is important if you're visiting there. Off the Hook Poolside Bar. It's a small story, but it's going to make a big difference, I think, when you stay there. The Poolside Bar is now going to offer breakfast from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. daily. And that includes a lot of good things like Mickey waffles and pancakes and French toast and eggs and everything. And this is important because there was really only one sort of quick service dining option there. So it's nice to have another one on site at the hotel where you can go. And I'd really like it. It's a much more picturesque location than the previous.
And all of those things sound delicious as well. So I would be very excited to try that.
But the big news is what's coming in 2024. Let us know what you think about it. And let us know if you are also affected as we are, being an out-of-state traveler who books on-site hotels or DVC and has an annual pass and are going, great, but what about us?
Yeah.
What have you done for us lately? All right. But all in all, I would say this is 2 thumbs up. Mr. Iger, thank you if you're behind it.
And at least they brought back annual passes to begin with, but now the timing makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. As always, follow along on social media at 1923 Main Street. And we will see you again next week. Have a magical day.
Bye-bye.